Look out for the big piece of wood.
Yeah. There's a parking lot right past this blue thing. We can go in there and just park. That's probably the easiest thing to do.
Right here on the right?
Yeah, I just come right in, right here. It's gravel. Our nearest big box store is in another town. Luckily, our local True Value does sell some basic lumber. Today we are searching for a 2x4 to saw up into cigar box bodies. We're working on a few prototype 6-string models and one to keep the cost down.
Seems pretty straight. Some of these knots are weird places.
Yeah, like that all goes through, but that's a whole usable section, so that's not bad. We're not looking for the perfect piece.
So, but we're only going to use about 2.5 of it, so if it's just this part that's good, that's okay. It doesn't look
We'll be
too
cutting
bad,
this
'cause
up
we can
into
rip off
12-inch
all
by
these
9-inch by half-inch sections,
compared to the other.
about 2.5 inches in height.
Kind of twist a little bit. Or it's different.
That's not bad, but that's actually in better shape than this one. This got it, the twist that's on it is pretty minor. The saw should take care of it.
Look out for the big piece of wood.
Yeah. So this is pretty much okay, except for down that end where that knot is, which I pretty much knew was going to be good. And there's a slight little wiggle bow, but we got a lot of usable wood on here. So what I'm looking for is as many 12-inch and 9-inch lengths that we can get, and avoiding the knots that are on both sides. So we're going to be, this is 3.5 inches wide. We're going to be cutting an inch off it, off of one side. So like this right here, that's going to be gone.
Okay.
So you don't have to worry about not being able to count this as a piece of wood we can use. We can't, because we're going to rip it off. So we're just basically eyeballing some good 12 and 9, and be a little generous when you measure it. So we know right here, go ahead and give us a line just straight across.
Right here?
Yeah, just you can almost pencil this one. This is more for measurement. And just put a big X. I know, right there. I know we got to cut that off, because we may be able to get a usable section out of this once we straighten it out. Okay, that's our first cut. I want to avoid this knot, so let's go here to here. Let's give you a good 12 inches. That's what she said. There we go.
Slippery piece of wood.
Yeah. How much do we got here that's good? 12 plus 22. You know what?
21.
What's 12 plus 9 is 21. Let's right here. Give me a mark right there, just all good across so we can see it, and then a mark it right there in front of that knot. Perfect, because we're gonna have some curving. Okay. I'm using our Rockler Box Joint Jig to route 1/2-inch joints. I marked the planks A and B to keep track of what side of the board I want showing. This is the same technique we're using on 4 upcoming projects. Here's a quick preview.
don't know if I can make a guitar out of that.
He has the folds on the outside. Here's the little where you couldn't find it earlier.
It's a nice thing that can happen when you cut it up out of the same piece of lumber is you can sort of almost kind of in a way book match it, I think is kind of the word for it. All right, so I need to get these gluing. All right, so we've got the first box all nice and glued up. I'm gonna take the clamps off it because it is time to glue the second box. I had to use these on two corners because I had one piece of wood wanting to start to twist on me a little bit. And these clamps are a lot stronger than these. These will not get much of a twist out for you as they're spring loaded. These will. So have your clamps ready. And I basically find brushing on the glue is a lot easier than trying to pour it on or squeeze it out of the bottle. So I end up making a big mess. I'm using Type On Ultimate Wood Glue for this one. I find the finish color matches pretty close. Once I've got it finished, there's any glue that would be stuck in the seam showing. If I was worried about anything that might be showing with the glue, I'd be using the lighter version of it because then it would blend it perfectly. But I have a lot more of this, so I'm going to use it. Okay. And you just basically start out by making a huge mess like I did. You just are dabbing in the joints. You don't need a whole lot. Just enough to where when they come together, this even amount of wetness. Okay. A little bit of excess there, just get it up now. I'm not dealing with it later. Okay. Push one side together, release, make sure they go back. Do the same thing. With nice tight fitting joints. And really, even depth of your joints is one of the easiest ways to keep the box square when you're building it. Okay, just keep going around it. So I know they're all there. Yep, okay. Don't think I need to use the metal clamp on anything. Okay, let's just clean up some of this excess. Make it easier to sand down. There we go, another guitar box that's going to be ready soon. Yep, usually give them at least a minimum of 2 hours. Overnight is better, but they don't really take a whole lot of time. This pine sucks in this glue really fast. 1, ready, 2, and 3.
Why don't you guys just please like and subscribe? Just one of y'all.
These boxes turned out pretty good. Got them clamped up, got them glued, let them set for about 2 hours each. So now it's time to come in and do some cleanup on the edges. And because I was a little bit proud on these first batch of boxes on how I had the router set, just a little bit high, I've already gone through and I had to take a palm sander. I think the best thing is sort of bring those down even. And then I like to finish it off with an orbital sander and just kind of give it a nice, decently smooth finish. This won't be the final finish, but this will definitely be one darn close to it because I shouldn't be doing any more modifications to the edges at all. Just tops and bottoms. Both these boxes are sanded now, and what I'm doing is I'm collecting the sawdust. That's why I was using this too, and not having it collected up to a vacuum. And I'll show you what I'm going to do with it here in just a minute. And I'm just making some tape here just to help me keep it clean and have less I've got to sand off. All right, let's make some fill. So you obviously don't want to use all of it. You want to save some too. I'm just going to do it by sight here. I'm going to be making way more than I need. Okay. Put that away to save later. I usually keep them in little jars like this and label them what color they are. And I'm going to start with about a volume of about 50/50, and then work it in there and either thin it out or thicken it up as needed. Yeah, it's going to need more. Okay, so if you kind of can see that consistency, seems to be about right. And you can brush it in, but honestly, my fingers are sometimes the best tool. This actually may work as well.
Up next is a close-up gallery of some of our past and current projects we've been using the same box building technique on.
Well, now that it's just us patrons.
To the day I die.